Dear students, welcome all of you to the online classes of biology. So in the previous classes, we have learned about respiratory system of human being, its parts and the process of breathing or mechanism of breathing. So today in this video from respiration we'll study exchange of gases that is taking place in the alveoli and in the tissues depends upon the partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide and the transport of gases. Okay, so this topics will study in this video. Okay, so we have studied that when we inhale, the air will enter into the body or into the respiratory system through the nostrils. It passes the nasal passages and then goes to trachea and then will go to the bronchi, bronchioles, alveolar ducts, and finally it will be getting filled in the alveoli. Okay, so in the alveoli, the air when it is filled, okay, the partial pressure of oxygen will be high. So what do you mean by partial pressure of oxygen or partial pressure of any gas means the pressure exerted by that particular gas in a mixture of gas. Okay, so the partial pressure of oxygen will be high where in the alveoli. Okay, in the alveoli the oxygen's partial pressure will be more when compared to where, when compared to the partial pressure of oxygen of the blood. Okay, of the blood that is found in the blood capillaries which is surrounding the alveoli. I told na alveoli are having very thin walls. Their walls are only 1 cell thick. Okay, and they are provided with a number of blood capillary. So when the partial pressure of oxygen is high in the alveolar air and when it is low in the blood capillaries, what will happen? By simple diffusion, oxygen from alveoli enters into the alveolar ducts. Okay, and as the blood is coming from different parts of the body, the carbon dioxide concentration, because the oxygen will be used up in the cells and they produce carbon dioxide, isn't it? So carbon dioxide which is taken by the blood to the alveoli, okay, by the blood capillaries. So the partial pressure of carbon dioxide will be high here and it will be low here. So what happens from the region of higher concentration to lower concentration, that is from the capillaries to the alveoli, carbon dioxide moves and oxygen from its high concentration to lower concentration, that is from alveoli to the blood capillaries it moves. So this is how the exchange of gases takes place in the alveoli. Okay, so this is one place where exchange of gases takes place. Then what will happen? This blood, the blood will carry oxygen to different parts of the body. So how this transport takes place? So is it clear? That is, as the partial pressure. What is partial pressure? It is the pressure exerted by a particular gas in the mixture of gas. Okay, so the inhaled air I told already, it is having a mixture of gases. Okay, all the components will be there in that. So what will happen? The oxygen partial pressure will be high when compared to the oxygen of this blood capillary, isn't it? So due to the high partial pressure of oxygen, oxygen will go to this and carbon dioxide will be coming this side, okay, from the blood capillaries to the alveolar air. So in this way only exchange of gases takes place. Okay, so this is happening in the alveoli. Now what happened? This oxygen should be transported to different parts of the body. So how the transport of gases takes place? Of course, there is blood which help in the transport of gases and also food materials. All the major function of blood is what? To transport the material. So for the transport of oxygen, there is a pigment known as hemoglobin. So transport of gases takes place with the help of what? A pigment known as hemoglobin. Understood? So hemoglobin mainly combines with oxygen and form a substance, form a compound known as oxyhemoglobin. What is it? Oxyhemoglobin. So in the form of oxyhemoglobin only the oxygen mainly is carried out, and a very few part will be also carried by the blood in the form of dissolved stage. Understood? So this hemoglobin has high affinity with oxygen, and this is what it combines readily with. Hemoglobin is a pigment which is present in where? In RBC. RBC's function we have studied, isn't it? It helps in carrying the oxygen. So hemoglobin combines with oxygen and form oxyhemoglobin, and in this form, in the form of oxyhemoglobin, oxygen is mainly transported, and a very few part is also transported in the soluble form. Okay, then carbon dioxide is more soluble than oxygen, and mostly they are transported in the dissolved form. Okay, and some very few parts they will combine with with the hemoglobin, and it form carbaminohemoglobin. Okay, and in that form a very few part of oxygen is transported. Understood? So mainly oxygen is transported in the form of oxyhemoglobin, and carbon dioxide is transported in the form of soluble form. Okay, in the dissolved form. Understood? So in this way it will be transported. So from where to where this transport takes place? See, oxygen it will be exchanged in the alveoli to the blood present in the blood capillary there, and it should be transported from lungs to the different parts of the body or to the tissues. And carbon dioxide, from where it will be synthesized or where it will be formed in the body, in the tissues, because we have studied that cellular respiration takes place. Aerobic respiration, when it takes place, it produces carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is produced in the tissues. So from the tissues it has to be brought to where? To the alveoli, so that it should be expelled out. And this is mainly, I told, done with the help of what? Happening in the dissolved form, and a very small part is also transported in the form of carbaminohemoglobin. Okay, understood? So oxyhemoglobin I told, carbaminohemoglobin I told. Okay, now then next part where exchange of gases should take place is where? In the tissues. In the tissues I told carbon dioxide will be produced, isn't it? And this carbon dioxide should reach or it should go out from the cells, and oxygen should go inside. Understood? So oxygen, who is carrying the oxygen? Oxyhemoglobin, or in the form of oxyhemoglobin it reaches to the tissues. So when there is less oxygen, okay, when the oxygen concentration is less, okay, what will happen? The oxyhemoglobin, okay, will get split fastly, and it will get converted to oxygen and hemoglobin. This oxygen, according to the partial pressure, means in the blood capillaries of the tissues, or which is near to the tissue fluid, will have what? More oxygen. So what will happen? From there the oxygen will diffuse into the cells, and carbon dioxide concentration will be more where? In the tissue. So from there carbon dioxide will diffuse into the tissue fluid, and then to the blood of the blood capillaries, which is near to the tissue. So in these two sides, one is in the where? In the alveoli, and the other is in the tissues. In these two places exchange of gases takes place. So I told the two terms now, oxyhemoglobin and carbaminohemoglobin. Okay, so sometimes have you heard about carbon monoxide poisoning? So children, when oxygen is combined with hemoglobin, it forms oxyhemoglobin, and this is a very unstable compound when it reaches to the tissues. When there is more less oxygen, okay, less oxygen in the tissues cause this oxyhemoglobin to get split, and hemoglobin and oxygen will be freed. Oxygen will diffuse into the cells. Okay, and carbaminohemoglobin, I told, a very few part of carbon dioxide, when it combines with the hemoglobin it forms carbaminohemoglobin. And another condition is there when we happen to inhale carbon monoxide. Okay, so carbon monoxide will combine with hemoglobin and form carboxyhemoglobin. Okay, this carboxyhemoglobin being a very stable compound, when it reaches to the tissues, it will not get depleted or it will not get disassociated. Okay, so no free hemoglobin will be there for carrying oxygen, and this process is called the carbon monoxide poisoning. So when we happen to inhale carbon monoxide. Okay, it will combine with hemoglobin and form carboxyhemoglobin. Clear? So this process is called what? Carbon monoxide poisoning. How carbon monoxide is produced? When combustion occurs in insufficient oxygen. Is it clear to everyone? So in this chapter, means topic, we have learned about respiration in plants, respiration taking place in different types of organisms. Then we have studied about the specialities of respiratory surfaces, the human respiratory system and its parts. Okay, then breathing mechanism. Then we have studied about the exchange of gases, transport of gases, and then we have studied about the carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, so let's continue the new topic. Okay, we'll study that in this video itself. Okay, so that is transportation. So till now we have learned that respiration and nutrition, isn't it? Now the next life process is what? Transportation. That is, many materials are there in our body that has to be transported, isn't it? We have seen that how oxygen and carbon dioxide will be transported, and I have also told you that there is the digested food materials, okay, which is digestion takes place where? In the digestive system. So from there that food should be brought to each of the cells, isn't it? Then only respiration can take. Means there should be some medium, some transport agency to transport the materials between all through the body. So this is done with the help of two systems in our body, that is the blood circulatory system and lymphatic circulatory system. So first we will learn about the blood circulatory system. The components of blood circulatory system includes blood, okay, then heart and blood vessels. So blood is a kind of connective tissue. In last year we have learned that, isn't it? Blood is a kind of connective tissue and it consists of a fluid matrix known as plasma, isn't it? Plasma is the fluid matrix, and in which you can see what various cells will be found. What are the cells of this blood? They are RBCs, WBCs, platelets, etc. Isn't it? So plasma is the fluid matrix of the blood, and the major function of plasma is it helps in the transport of food, carbon dioxide, nitrogen waste materials, etc. in the dissolved form. Okay, we learned now already carbon dioxide is transported mainly in the dissolved form. So it will get dissolved in the plasma of blood and it is getting transported. So the other cells, the other components are red blood corpuscles or RBCs. Okay, so their major function is it helps in carrying the oxygen. Okay, oxygen is carried by RBCs. RBCs having what? A pigment known as hemoglobin. So with the help of that only it is getting transported. Clear? Then WBC's major function is to repair WBC's major function is to fight with the microorganisms. Okay, it gives immunity to the body. Understood? Then other corpuscle is platelets. Okay, so three types of corpuscles or cells you can find. What are they? WBC, RBC and platelets. Okay, WBC's function is what? It helps in fighting the microorganisms, and RBC they carry oxygen, and platelets they help in what? Repair or to clot the blood. Understood? So these are the clotting or coagulation of blood is the function of what? Platelets. So these are the three cells, okay, the cells which are found in blood, and the matrix of blood is known as plasma, and they also help in the transport of carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste, etc. Understood? So this is what first component of the blood circulatory system, that is blood, and second one we will have to study, that is blood vessels. So there are two types of blood vessels. They are arteries and veins. Okay, have you heard about this? Arteries and veins. Okay, so arteries are what? The blood vessels which carry blood from heart to different parts of the body. Understood? So one more is there, that is, see, three types of blood vessels you can see. One is artery and the second is veins. Okay, these are the two main big blood vessels, and in addition to that, these arteries will branch into a number of small branches called arteries. Arterioles or blood capillaries. Okay, so arteries are there, veins are there, and blood capillaries. Okay, so like this, there are different kinds of blood vessels. So arteries, I told, what are they? They are the blood vessels which carry blood away from the heart to different parts of the body. Understood? And usually artery carries pure blood. Pure blood means what? Oxygenated blood. Understood? And there are exceptions for this also. And for example, pulmonary artery carries impure blood. Okay, that we will study when we study the structure of heart. So arteries are what? Arteries are blood vessels which carry blood away from heart. Okay, then veins are those which are collecting blood from different parts of the body to heart. Understood? So the difference, if you see, I told the arteries, most of the arteries are carrying pure blood, but veins, they carry impure blood. There are exceptions. Okay, so for example, pulmonary vein is an exception for this, that is, they carry pure blood. Understood? Then as the arteries are carrying blood from heart. Okay, the blood emerges from the heart with high pressure. So the arteries have thick elastic walls. This question also was asked, why the arteries are having thick walls when compared to veins? Because arteries are carrying blood from heart to different parts of the body, and when it does like that, the blood will be pumped with force to the arteries, isn't it? So it has to withstand that pressure. That's what the walls of the arteries are, more thick and elastic. Okay, and there is no valves. Okay, no valves for preventing the blood flow in arteries, but valves are there in veins. Why? Because they are not, the blood in the veins are not under any pressure, so there is chance of backward flow. Okay, the blood can flow back also. So to prevent this, there are valves in the veins. Is it clear? So these are the difference between arteries and veins. Arteries are those blood vessels which carry blood from heart to different parts of the body, and veins are those which carry blood from different parts of the body to heart. Okay, then second point I told, arteries usually carries what? Pure blood, but veins are usually carrying impure blood, deoxygenated blood. Okay, then another point I told, the walls of the arteries are more thick than veins. Why? Because there is blood. The blood in the arteries are coming under high pressure. Okay, and in the other one, in the veins, the blood is not under any pressure. So there is chance of what? Backward flow of blood. To prevent this, there are valves. Okay, so when it reaches, when the arteries reaches to some organs, they divide into smaller and smaller vessels, and this are known as capillaries, blood capillaries. Okay, so there are three different types of blood vessels. What are they? Arteries, veins, and blood capillaries. Okay, so blood capillary speciality is that they are made up of, or their walls are very thin. Only one cell thickness is there, so that the materials can be easily diffused between them. Okay, across the membrane. Understood? And this capillaries joins to form veins, and then they will be going away. Means the blood will be collected from the materials will be collected from the tissues, and they join to form, this blood capillaries join to form what? Veins, and this veins will take the impure blood to the heart and lungs or any other organs for purification. Is it clear? So this is what are the different types of blood vessels. So we have studied two components of blood circulatory system, that is blood and blood vessels. We'll continue the next component in the next class, that is heart. Okay, so this much is very clear to everyone, I hope. So thank you very much.